Hey guys, in my last video, I discussed why even bother investing, and today I will begin covering the mechanics of investing. One of the most important concepts of investing, really, that explains actually why you should be investing, is really the concept of compound interest. And basically, Albert Einstein called it the greatest mathematical discovery of the 20th century. And I would actually argue that it is just simply the greatest discovery of all time because it really allows you to really use a magnificent tool to really get closer to your dream of achieving financial freedom. So, to actually explain the concept of compound interest, it might be better to actually discuss, first of all, uh, the types of interest that you might encounter. There's two types of interest that you will have if you invest your money. You can have simple interest rate. So you can have simple interest, or you can have the compound interest. And the best way to actually go through that, to actually explain how it's the power of compound interest, is to really go through an example. So let's say that you have, for example, $1,000 that you would like to invest in your in to invest in any portfolio. So you have, let's say, the first capital of investment that I will call K is 1,000. Now, what will happen if you have, for example, a 5% annual interest rate that is compounded annually? So it's just a simple 5% interest rate that you receive one time, just once a year, you receive your interest rate. So in this case, you have in the first year, so year one, the simple interest rate will be 1,000 times 5%, which will give you $50. And this is what you receive from interest. Okay? Now, if you would go for the second year, if you do the year two, you would still invest the same $1,000, and assuming that the interest rate is constant, another 5%, so you would have another $50, which means that basically at the end of 2 years, you would have your $1,000 plus your interest uh, that you have from each year, so plus $100, and that would be $1,100. Okay, so this was simple interest calculation. Now, if we use the compound interest, you would see where the difference comes from. So I have the same initial capital investment, $1,000, same interest rate, 5% for the first year. I get exactly the same, $1,000 times 5% equal to $50. Now for the second year, this is where you will have a major difference. For the second year, you would actually reinvest the interest that you got from the first year in the second year. So your initial amount invested is no longer $1,000, but rather $1,050. reinvested at the constant rate of 5%, it would give you 52.5. So now, if you want to know after 2 years how much you have, you have your initial capital investment of $1,000 plus $50 plus 52.5, so I'm just gonna write 102.5, and that would give you $1,102.50. You can clearly see that there is a difference of $2.50 when using the compound interest. And if that doesn't sound like a lot to you, first of all, just know that you didn't have to work to get those $2, so it's not negligible. But you can also do the same calculation with $1 million, and you would see that it is starting to become a significant difference. Okay, so this is basically the difference between the simple interest calculation and the compound interest calculation. And we can generalize the formula of the compound interest rate. If we want to know the amount that we will receive after n periods of time, so let's say for example n years, we will simply have to take the first initial investment, multiply by 1 plus r, which is basically to have the interest return. That is for 1 year. If we want for 2 years, it's what we have received from the first year total that we reinvest at the same rate, and we can continue like that for the n period of time. And so you can see that we can actually multiply the 1 plus r, and we end up with this formula right here. So you can see with this formula that the compound interest allows you to really actually grow your initial capital exponentially. And that is only if you actually keep the same capital, initial capital investment. Obviously, if you add frequently onto that your investment capital, it even grows even faster. So now you can see that basically the total amount that you will receive after a certain period of time really is contingent of the initial capital investment, or at least the amount that you invest, and the return that you get over the years. So we can't always control the initial capital that we can invest, because some of us don't necessarily have the means to invest as much as we want, but we can definitely choose the right type of investments that will allow us to have a good rate of return over a certain period of time. And this will be the topic of our next videos about the type of investments that you can actually work with to have the return that you want. See you guys later.